a few months ago, I was asked that, and I told the reporter that for us entrepreneurs, it's just as important to share why we start as it is to share why we stay. And today, for example, seeing the entrepreneurs pitching their businesses and seeing the sharks in training, the pipeline angels, asking the questions, providing feedback, offering that sort of, I like to call angel investing smart money, because it's financial capital, human capital, and social capital. So already showcasing at least two of those, and then eventually the third one is really powerful. And today is one of the reasons why I stay. I continue to do it. We launched Pipeline Angels April 2011, and since then we've grown over 180 women. Have over 180 women have graduated from Pipeline Angels.
Got it.
And we have 20 plus portfolio companies, which means that our 180 plus members have invested over $1.7 million. And when we think about how generally these are super early stage investments, that's a pretty huge chunk of money. And especially, one of the things that I share is when we're talking about the funding continuum, we generally talk about bootstrapping, then friends and family, then angel, then VC round. And something that I underscore is that for a lot of women, we don't have the friends and family for the friends and family round. So we're positioning Pipeline Angels to be that friends and family, provide that critical early capital injection to get them through the pipeline. And that actually brings me to, your original question, which is why I started Pipeline Angels. I built a network of women social entrepreneurs in New York City in 2008, from about 6 women to over 1,200 within 2 years. And I kept hearing from them how hard it was to secure funding. And particularly, this is where I had my aha moment, I realized that society really has a gendered perspective on how we change the world. So whenever they were sharing their change-making ideas to their network, their communities, people would get really excited, would offer to write a check, would ask where to donate, and as soon as they would clarify, hey, actually we're aiming to be for-profit social ventures, people would back away and say, well, let me know once you started your sister nonprofit. At the same time, this was really when, Tom's and Warby Parker were really in the news, were making, the headlines, getting the money, and guess what? Predominantly white male, founders, etc. And so I saw that disconnect. I was like, a woman says she wants to change the world, and I realized society thought, oh, she's going to launch a nonprofit. When a guy says he's going to change the world, generally, society is not thinking that he's going to launch a nonprofit. So for me, that was the aha moment. And at the same time, I also, was aware that a lot of high net worth women have made a positive social impact through philanthropy, through charity, through donations. And so my take was, let's create this bridge from philanthropy into angel investing, and let's engage more, women, and showcase to them that they can make a positive impact in the world by investing in women entrepreneurs in exchange for equity. So that's why I launched Pipeline Angels. And the stats were also pretty depressing back then in 2012, when we, around 2012, when we had just, had our first angel investing boot camp. Out of all the US angel investors out there, only 12% were women and only 4% minorities. Fast forward to the most recent stats, the 12% has gone up to 26% of US angel investors are women, and the 4% has gone up to 8% US minority angels. There's still a lot of work to be done, and it's just
huge progress in such a short period of time.
We're moving the needle,
Yes, absolutely. I'm so glad you said that, Natalia, because, since Sylvia has engaged with you and started this conversation about bringing you out here to San Diego, we've had this conversation locally. The points that you're making, women are very philanthropic. We are giving a lot of money to nonprofit organizations. And so we, at the Hera Venture Summit this last year, I proposed the idea, as you're saying, of 5%. Take 5% of the money that you're giving to nonprofits and invest in a female founder. Yes, you might lose your money, right? We all know that these are not, sure bets by any means, but you may, that maybe 1 in 10, you may get a return on your investment, and knowing that you are supporting women in this way is just absolutely incredible. And so the more women I talk to that I know are philanthropic and are engaging in this community, the more that resonates with, which makes me so excited. So that's our 5% campaign.
Yeah, and and oftentimes I'd say, we can also think about it. It's not an either or, because oftentimes people there's that like hesitation, and I'm like, you can still donate, you can still give, you can still be philanthropic, and you can invest, right?
Yes.
I'd say the other part that you reminded me of is one of my favorite quotations, which is I call it a pseudo rhetorical question from Vanessa Hirsch. She's the founder of Girl Develop It and founder of Code Montage. She's at DVNess on Twitter, and she says, shouldn't doing good be the only way to make a profit? And it's like that sort of type of question that makes you kind of like, why is it like the saying, like double back, right? Like do a double take.
Yes.
And like actually that should be the only way to make a profit.
Exactly.
And yet so many social entrepreneurs, particularly women, find it hard, because then it's almost like there's this higher threshold of how are you doing well? How are you doing good? And my take is we really need to create that safe space to experiment, to explore, and that also means creating earlier stage impact investors. What has been fabulous is also seeing, through getting to meet the community at Hera Labs and Hera Fund and Hera
all things Hera
Hub, like just the diversity of the women here also, like in terms of age, in terms of race, ethnicity, and also in terms of backgrounds and industries that they represent. And that's something that I find really powerful, and we saw it today in terms of, I'd say that we had a really great representation of local entrepreneurs, and that kind of goes back to what I'm passionate about, which is activating local capital for local entrepreneurs.